In the 1960s and 1970s, the Soviet regime in Russia came down heavily on those Jews who sought to leave the Soviet Union and live in Israel, the Jewish state. Among those who struggled to leave was Natan Sharansky. This is his story. He applied to leave in 1973, and 3 years later he was arrested, imprisoned without trial, then tried, and spent the next 9 years in Soviet prisons, often in solitary confinement. I knew his wife Avital, whom the Soviets had allowed to leave the Soviet Union shortly before his arrest. She gave me access to the remarkable letters he was able to write to her from prison. They revealed the strength of his character and determination not to be crushed by the Soviet regime. I wrote this book inspired by her to try to help secure his release. The book was part of a massive campaign all over the world, particularly in the United States, Canada, Britain, France, Holland, and Israel, to secure Sharansky's release. When he was released in February 1986, it was a moment of great joy, including for those still captive then in the Soviet Union. This book not only tells his story of his bravery and his struggle and his incarceration, it also tells the story of all those Soviet Jews who were harassed, arrested, imprisoned, and who suffered as he did for their desire to live in Israel. Fortunately, with the collapse of communism in 1991, these imprisonments ended, and all those like Shcharansky who had suffered for their desire to live in Israel were allowed to go. But the book remains a testament to his struggle and to that of his fellow Refuseniks, as they were called, the Jews who were desperate to leave the Soviet Union and were forbidden by the Soviet state to do so.